My mom secretly gave my childhood home to my sister, then called me ungrateful when I cut contact. This has been eating away at me for months, and I don't really have anyone in my life who gets it. So here I am, letting it out online. Maybe someone out there will understand. I'm a 31-year-old man living in Pittsburgh now, but I grew up in a small town in Ohio. The house I grew up in wasn't just a house. It was the house. The kind of home you see in holiday movies. 2 stories, white picket fence, a little workshop in the back that always smelled like sawdust and motor oil. My dad built it himself, literally. He was a carpenter by trade, and it took him almost 2 years to finish it while juggling his day job and raising me and my younger sister, Emily. She's 28 now. Every single inch of that home has his fingerprints on it. My dad passed away suddenly when I was 16, a heart attack in his sleep. No warning, just gone. It shattered us. My mom was inconsolable for months, and I had to grow up practically overnight. I took on a part-time job at a local hardware store after school and started skipping extracurriculars to help around the house. Emily was only 13 at the time, so a lot of the responsibility fell on me. When I turned 18, I had a full ride to a state university, but I deferred it for a year to stay home, help mom get back on her feet, and keep the house running. Even after I moved out, I kept pitching in financially. I sent money every month for things like property taxes, repairs, and utilities, especially when mom fell behind. It was always presented like our family home. She said, "It'll be yours and Emily's one day. I'll never sell it." And I believed her. Over the years, Emily moved in and out of that house a few times. She's never really held a job for long. She's had a string of relationships, some good, some bad, and recently got engaged to a guy she's been dating for just over a year. I don't want to trash talk her, but let's just say she's always been the golden child, the emotional one, the one who needed help or support. And I was the one expected to be the responsible man of the house, the fixer, the provider. Now here's where the betrayal kicks in. This past Thanksgiving, I drove home to spend the holiday with family. When I pulled into the driveway, I didn't recognize the house. They'd redone the siding, the porch had new railings, and the old oak tree in the front yard, the one I used to climb with Dad, was gone. Inside, it was even more shocking. The kitchen had been completely renovated. Hardwood floors had replaced the old carpet. Even the workshop out back had been cleaned out and turned into what looked like a yoga studio. I asked Mom about it, trying to stay light. "Wow, did you win the lottery or something?" Emily just smirked and said, "It's called taste, bro." Later that night, after dinner, Mom dropped the bomb. Totally casually, like it was no big deal. "Oh, by the way, I signed the house over to Emily last spring. She's going to raise her family here, and it just made sense." I literally choked on my wine. "What?" I asked, thinking I must have misheard her. "I gave her the house," she said again, slowly, like I was the one being dense. "You're doing well in Pittsburgh, you don't need it. She's trying to start a family, and I wanted to give her stability." There was no conversation, no heads up, no paperwork shared. Meanwhile, I had been sending her money this year to help maintain the house. Money that, in hindsight, probably went straight into the renovations for Emily. I didn't even know what to say. I just got up and left the table. Emily called me selfish and said I was trying to make the holiday about me. Mom followed me outside and tried to spin it like she was doing what was fair. "Fair?" I asked. "How is this fair? I helped keep this house afloat for years. You told me it would be ours." "You're a man," she said, like it was the most natural thing in the world. "You'll be fine. Emily needs this more than you do." I left that night without saying goodbye. Drove 4 hours back to Pittsburgh in silence. I didn't even stop to sleep. Since then, I've gone completely no contact. I didn't go back for Christmas. I didn't answer birthday texts. I've ignored every call. And now the guilt trip campaign has begun. Relatives I haven't spoken to in years are messaging me saying Mom's heartbroken, Emily's confused, and I'm breaking up the family over a house. But it's more than that. It's the betrayal, the erasure of everything I did, the complete disregard for my role in preserving that home, my dad's legacy. Oh, and the final twist? Last week, A friend back home sent me a screenshot from Facebook Marketplace. My dad's old toolset, the one he used to build that house, the one I begged my mom to let me keep one day, was sold for $150. She didn't even ask me. So yeah, that's the end of that chapter. I've deleted numbers, blocked contacts, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm an only child now. Maybe that makes me cold. Maybe it makes me petty. But I'm finally choosing myself. After 15 years of being the man of the house, I'm done being used like one. Update 1. Mom showed up uninvited to my apartment with Emily. Hey Reddit, thanks to everyone who commented and messaged support on my original post. Honestly, I wasn't expecting so many people to understand. I thought maybe I was being dramatic. But your responses really helped ground me. So, here's what happened next. About a week after I posted, on a random Tuesday evening, I came home from work and found my mom and Emily waiting in the hallway outside my apartment door. No call, no warning, just there. I live in a secure building, so someone either tailgated a resident inside or somehow convinced the leasing office to let them up. Still not sure which. I stood there frozen for a second. I wasn't ready. I hadn't spoken to either of them in months. Mom smiled like we were just casually running into each other at the grocery store. We were in the neighborhood, she said. Emily didn't even look up from her phone. At first, I didn't even open the door. I just said, "You shouldn't be here." But Mom got emotional, started talking about repairing the family, Dad wouldn't want this, and how she's been losing sleep since I stopped talking to them. Then she asked if they could come in just to talk. Against my better judgment, I let them in. Big mistake. It started out nice. Mom complimented the place, said she was proud of me. Emily made a snarky comment about the neighborhood being a bit too city for her taste. I stayed quiet. Then Mom got to the point. She wants me to come home for Emily's wedding. Just for the ceremony, she said. Let's put all this behind us. I asked her, did you come here to apologize or just to pretend nothing happened? That's when Emily finally looked up and said, "You're being so ungrateful. You've always been bitter about me and Mom being close. This has nothing to do with the house. You're just jealous I'm the one staying." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so absurd that it almost felt scripted. I told them clearly that this isn't about jealousy. It's about trust, about being lied to and betrayed after sacrificing my time, my money, and years of my life helping maintain a home they had already decided didn't include me. Then I asked the one question I've been holding back for months. Why didn't you just tell me the truth? Mom just sighed and said, because I knew you'd take it this way. And there it was. They left after that. I didn't yell. I didn't slam doors. I just told them we're done. Again. And this time I meant it more than ever. I changed my locks that night. Told the leasing office to never let them in again under any circumstances. And yes, I've now put a password on all deliveries and maintenance requests. The hardest part? That I don't feel grief anymore. I feel relief. I might post a final update after the wedding, assuming they try anything else. But for now, I just want peace. Something I never really had when I was busy holding the family together. Thanks again, Reddit. Seriously. Update 2. She got married last weekend. I didn't go. Now the family's exploding, and I finally found out the real reason they gave her the house. Hey again, Reddit. It's been a few weeks since update 1, and the wedding has come and gone. I stuck to my decision and didn't go. Not to the ceremony, not to the reception, not even a text. Felt weird at first, like I was skipping some life milestone I was supposed to care about. But as the day came and went, I realized I didn't feel guilt, just freedom. That freedom was short-lived though, because on Monday morning I woke up to a barrage of missed calls, texts, and even a voicemail from my aunt screaming at me for embarrassing the family. Apparently, Emily cried at the altar, not because of anything touching, because I abandoned her and ruined her perfect day. My mom was apparently telling everyone at the wedding that I refused to come out of spite, and that I've always been jealous of Emily. Cue the family group chat lighting up like a dumpster fire. Half of them took her side, people I haven't seen since my dad's funeral, by the way, but a surprising number reached out privately to say they had no idea what had really happened with the house and were horrified once I told them. One of my older cousins even told me, "Your dad would be proud of you for walking away. That house died the day they gutted his shop." Then, and this is where it gets wild, a few days after the wedding, I got a message from my mom's former friend. Karen used to be like an aunt to us. We hadn't spoken in years. She said she wanted to clear the air about the house, because I deserved to know the truth. Turns out, Mom didn't just sign the house over to Emily out of love or fairness. She was co-signing on Emily's fiancé's small business loan and needed to list the house as an asset under Emily's name so it wouldn't reflect on her credit. Emily couldn't get the loan on her own, but if she owned property, banks would consider her more secure. That's when they did the transfer. Quietly, not for family, for money. I didn't even know what to say. I called Karen to confirm, and she sent me a text thread, screenshots of my mom talking about how she was just trying to help Emily and Daniel get on their feet. One message actually said, "OP will understand once he has a wife. Right now he's just being selfish." So there it is. Not only did they give away the house behind my back, they did it to enable Emily's fiancé's third failed startup. The house my dad built, leveraged for a business that sells custom workout supplements out of a garage. This wasn't about family. It was never about legacy. It was a convenient asset. I haven't responded to anyone since. I'm taking time to process and recenter. I've started therapy, journaling more, even taking a weekend road trip soon just to unplug. The grief is still there, not for the house, but for the illusion of the family I thought I had. Anyway, that's probably it for updates unless something major happens. For those who are still reading and commenting, thank you. For real. You've been more of a family to me these past few months than some of my actual relatives. TLDR, I didn't go to the wedding. They used the house as collateral for a loan. I found out the betrayal was worse than I thought, but I also found peace in finally walking away. Final update. I've mourned my family like a death, and I'm finally at peace. Hi again, Reddit. This will be my last post. It's been a few months since the wedding and the truth about the house came out. If you missed it, my mom secretly signed over our childhood home, the one my late dad built, to my sister Emily so she and her fiancé could use it as leverage for a business loan. I only found out after I helped pay property taxes and repairs. They never told me. Then showed up uninvited at my apartment, asking me to let it go and attend the wedding. I didn't. Since then, I've been doing a lot of personal work. Therapy, long drives, digital detoxes. I've learned something important that I want to share for anyone else stuck in family dysfunction. You can love people and still let them go. I always thought I owed my family my loyalty no matter what. That blood meant obligation. That my sacrifices meant I'd eventually be seen, valued, remembered. But some people only love you for what you do for them, not for who you are. The fallout after the wedding was ugly. Emily blocked me. My mom sent a letter, yes, a handwritten one, begging me to rebuild our bond and be the bigger person. But it wasn't an apology, just more guilt. I didn't respond. Instead, I wrote my own letter, one I'll never send, just to get it out. I burned it in a fire pit in the woods outside Pittsburgh on a quiet Sunday night. Felt like closure. And here's where life is now. No contact with my mom and Emily. For good. I've started dating someone amazing. She knows everything, and for the first time I don't feel like I have to hide or minimize my past. I'm talking with a financial advisor to build a legacy of my own. One not tied to guilt, sacrifice, or false promises. And I'm thinking about buying a small cabin somewhere in the mountains. Not out of spite, but because I want to build something real. Not just a house, a home. One last thing. If you're reading this and you're in a similar situation, if you've been the one holding it all together while being taken for granted, let me tell you this. You are not selfish for choosing peace. You are not cold for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for walking away from people who hurt you, even if they share your last name. It doesn't make you heartless. It makes you free. Thanks for reading, supporting, and reminding me I'm not alone in this. You helped more than you know. signing off for good. Up. Thank you for stepping into another tale with me. Every story unlocks a different world, and I'm glad you were here for the journey. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my stories Unchained, where every ending is just the beginning of another adventure. Until next time, keep your mind open and your heart ready for the next story, Unchained.